Alright, so welcome back to Medellín, Colombia. If you guys watched the last video, you'll remember that things were still a little bit closed for COVID lockdown, the restrictions, toque de queda in Spanish. But this time in this video, I'm going to show you guys around the city a little bit more, and things were finally starting to open up. But also we got a surprise where they would announce just a couple days before, like on Thursday, they would announce a full curfew for the entire weekend. So literally from Friday evening until Monday morning, you literally couldn't go outside. I only could just to walk my dog. So you'll see what ended up happening for there, but it was actually ended up being a pretty fun way to pass the time because I reserved a place on Airbnb that I didn't realize was actually kind of a hotel with a lot of other foreigner travelers. And so I ended up making a lot of friends, and I'm still friends with almost all of those people and still talk to a lot of them today. So all this footage is still the same apartment I was staying at in the last video, but you'll see the next one soon. It was really nice, and it's kind of a funny little thing. It happened to be called Soy Local, is the name of the place in El Poblado. It's called Soy Local, and in Spanish this means like I am a local. And it turned into a big joke because every single person I met there, they were all foreigners. Nobody was local. Okay, so I just went searching for a cheaper breakfast because during the quarantine you couldn't go out, so I had to order Rappi all the time, which is like their Uber Eats or DoorDash here. And of course it's way more expensive, the food and also the delivery fees. So I went searching for more economical breakfast, and it's pretty crazy. I didn't even go that far. Just the food I got across the street, and the coffee I got at the place that I ate yesterday, which was just 2 blocks away. And this coffee was 1,400 pesos, which is about 40 cents. And then I got 2, I forget, like basically empanadas, 2 for 2,700 each, so 5,400 total. So total, I'll show you so you have an idea. These 2 empanadas plus the coffee, that's a pretty sufficient breakfast. All total for about $2 US. So definitely, if you look hard enough, you can definitely find more priced fairly things, and you can really make your money stretch a lot longer. Now let's see, give it a taste now too. Muy rico. And the empanadas, one was Hawaiian and one was Cuban. Really good. Echo in the background. What are you doing? But yeah, you cannot beat this for $2, this whole thing. And when I ate at the restaurant yesterday for lunch where I got this coffee, I'll put it in the video as well, but it was insane. It was 13,000 pesos, which is like around $4 or so. And it was huge meal. Like, it was basically 2 courses also. You started out with a soup, a pretty big soup, and then afterwards you got a full plate that had, like, I think it was a steak, like it was a thin slice but pretty big steak, rice, some salad with tomatoes on it and avocado, and some really good dressing, which I feel like I've never had before. I don't know what it was, but it was really good. And I don't know, I feel like there was one other item on the dish, and then also that was with a coffee again, and also a huge smoothie that was I'm honestly not sure what fruit it was, but it was just, you could tell the taste. It was like thick and pure fruit smoothie. It was so good, and that was only $4 for lunch. So I mean, if you figure, and I'm not even trying that hard, honestly. You could definitely, if you tried hard enough, you could probably find cheaper stuff. So, but even if you take that into account, that's $2 for breakfast, $4 for lunch, and you could probably find about the same for dinner. I mean, that would be filling even as a dinner too. So figure another $4 or $5 for dinner. Say 5, that's 5, 4, 9 plus 2, that's $11 a day basically that you could eat, and that's going out to eat for every day. I mean, obviously it would be way cheaper to buy the produce and just make some food yourself, but I feel like I won't get into that rhythm as much until I stay in a place like a little bit longer. I think maybe over a week or so before I can kind of get into the rhythm and routine of cooking for myself and everything. But and even with eating out, like I said, I'm in a big tourist area, Poblado, and I only went a block or two away to look. I didn't even look that hard. So I'm sure you could find it a lot cheaper in other neighborhoods, and also if you look a lot harder. But now I'm gonna enjoy this, my late breakfast, because I woke up so late. So like I mentioned earlier, somebody told me to follow the mayor of the city on Twitter so that I could keep up to date with the announcements, and he announced one of those lockdowns, the first one for the full weekend. So I decided, screw it, if I'm gonna be locked in for the whole weekend, then I'm gonna get this nice jacuzzi place that I found for a really good price, and it's got the jacuzzi right in the room, and it looks really cool. It's kind of like an industrial design of the hotel rooms. It's pretty cool too. You can see the lights change in the jacuzzi, which is really fun at night. Yeah, this is a full tour. I'm pretty sure there was some promotion going on, probably because of COVID and everything, so there was a lot less tourists. So I think this room was around only $40 or $50 a night. So that's what, 175,000 in pesos, something like that. But yeah, I thought it was really unique. I loved this part with the steps actually. It reminded me of like a fancy backyard or gardening, which I thought it was really interesting to see that like inside. But yeah, I really liked the whole style of it and everything. And you'll see in a little bit they have a really nice terrace on the rooftop, and we ended up spending a lot of time there, especially during the lockdown. That's where I ended up meeting all of those friends, and we would just stay up there and have a couple beers in the evening and just talk and hang out, because there was really nothing else to do because of the curfew. You couldn't go out to any restaurants or bars or anything like that.
Look, Echo, look at me.
I had to include these clips just to show the best tacos I've ever had in my entire life. And then this was basically a typical night during Toque de Queda up on the terrace with some of the new friends that I met. So this is the little area called Provenza, which is within the neighborhood El Poblado, which is, you know, pretty much the most upscale area in the entire city. So if you happen to listen to any reggaeton music, there's a lot of songs written about Medellín and Poblado, and specifically right here, this area with all the restaurants. It's really beautiful too. You can see all the nature right around. Medellín is one of the cities out of all that I traveled in my whole life that has so much vegetation and greenery amongst everything within the city. So it's really nice. It doesn't feel like, you know how they call a lot of other cities a concrete jungle. This feels a lot nicer with all of the trees and probably makes the air a lot fresher. So this is up on the terrace that I was talking about at the hotel at Soy Local. Oh, look at those fries covered in a few different sauces. And the view from the terrace was beautiful, honestly. So I spent a lot of time up there working on my laptop with Echo by my side. Funny, you can get a few glimpses of all of the friends that I met there. That was my friend from Ireland, David. And then here, if you look in the background there, it's funny, you can see my friend Juan, and he's Mexican. And I don't know why we used to joke around and try to tell people that he's my dad. But once they heard my Spanish versus his, they could definitely tell the difference for sure then. This was our typical beautiful start to the morning with the water right there, the little spring, and then we would jog through this park. I like to take Echo for a jog every single morning, usually at least Monday through Friday. So we found this park close by and we used to jog through every day. I might be slightly off on the name, but it's something along the lines of like Parque del Presidente or something. It basically means like presidential park or park of the president. After a long jog, Echo needed to relax in the nice air conditioning. Yeah, so this is one of those lunches I was talking about in the beginning of the video. It's like a typical Colombian lunch. I can't remember exactly if that meat is chicken or pork. It's actually different each day, kind of. It's like, you can see on the sign right there, maybe if you have to pause it, it says Menu del Dia, which is just like the menu of the day. So it fluctuates a little bit depending on what they have, what meat they have, what juice they have is a little bit different each day. But this was the place that I would go every day for lunch. It's called El Emperador. I think it's the Emperor. And it's kind of funny in the evening, in the nighttime actually, when you would walk by, it transformed into kind of like a little nightclub or something. So I'm not sure if it was the same owner or maybe he even just would rent it out in the evening, but it transformed from a restaurant into a little mini nightclub in the evening. And yeah, that soup was really good. That's the fish soup. And then I remembered what the name of that fruit is, that fruit juice. It's called maracuya. And that's why I couldn't remember, or well, that's why I didn't know at first, was because when I first arrived, they don't have that fruit in the US. So I had never had it before. And it's really, really good. Actually, they have a special Gatorade flavor down there, maracuya. And it's like, oh my God, it's so good. You can't get it in the US.
Echo. Look. Look.
I used to go to this gym every day too, which was pretty cool because it's an outdoor gym, which you don't see too often, and it's free too, so it's pretty neat. This is a sign explaining that President Park I was talking about before. I'm actually not sure what quebrada is, but it probably means something like the area around the park, the general area. And this was within the park too that we used to go through every day, some sort of Christian thing. It's hard to see behind the wiring, probably so it doesn't get stolen actually. But yeah, Colombia is a very Christian country. Like everyone is pretty decently religious, and also there's not really a huge mix of religions. It's predominantly Christian for sure. I think Catholic. I think that's the owner's feet walking by. I used to go there so often. I made pretty close friends with the owner and would talk to him every day. And he loved Echo. He would always try to make funny sounds with him to try to get his attention. Oh my God, even just watching this right now, that food looks so good. I can taste it just looking at it. And the juice. Oh my God, that lunch every day, it just tastes perfect, like so good and refreshing and healthy. It's just like tastes perfectly balanced, everything you would want. But yeah, we're gonna start to wrap it up. You guys definitely do not want to miss the next video because it's probably gonna be one of the best ones in the whole Colombia series. You can see here, believe it or not, if you look closely, those are stairs zigzagging going up all the way up the side of the mountain. And we're gonna stay in a cool cabana right near it with a perfect view. It's funny, I was actually still finishing my university degree at this point, so I remember sitting on that balcony writing a paper for a class with that incredible view. But alright, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already, and keep an eye out for the next video in the next couple of days.